I'm Sean, I'm 19, I'm a first year Scottish Literature student. I chose to study Scottish Literature because I'd always done English literature throughout school and I wanted to try something a little bit different. I had a few friends that had done Scottish Literature before and they had really raving reviews about it. If you're considering taking Scottish Literature, I would say look at the reading list for first year. If there are texts that jump out at you and think, oh, this, that's an interesting text, I've heard of this, I'd like to study it, then go for it, give it a go, because it is a really rewarding course. To be honest, Scottish literature as a subject is inherently got a political angle, so it's kind of impossible to ignore the history of Scotland and its politics and its language as well. It's not just a case of you should look at this text from a historical angle or take language into account. It's to your benefit to consider Scottish history and Scottish language when you're looking at some of these texts, and that's not something that I had been particularly aware of before, but it's really helped actually. It's really interesting. Be aware that there's a lot of reading to do, but if you're considering taking literature, then you're probably up for that anyway. Just if you're looking for something less like, oh, I'm going to do history, I'm going to do English lit and philosophy or something, if you want to do something a little bit off the wall with a smaller department that you can kind of communicate more directly with, then I think Scottish literature is probably the place for you. So far there's been a couple of texts in particular that I've really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Train Spotting. I've really enjoyed Janice Galloway. I think they're probably the most recent texts on the course, and I think they were really powerful, and being able to study it in small groups of seminars and talk openly about them, especially because they deal with sometimes quite difficult subjects to talk about, and being in like a safe environment where you can debate the ideas and bounce off of other people was just really, really great. Like outside of the texts themselves, I think the department has done a really good job with the course. It's got a really nice structure to it. You cover like a lot of breadth and depth throughout the text, and it's a really nice department. It's a reasonably small department, and I feel like you can communicate with anybody from the chair of Scottish Literature to your tutor relatively easily, so that's always a bonus.